Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to another one of my videos. It's your girl Joyce. In today's video we are going to jump right into a soft glam with a smoky eye. Okay, I know I look crazy right now because I got these pimple patches and my hair is not combed out, but it's okay. Towards the end it's gonna be cute. It's all gonna come together. So the first thing we're going to do first is our eyes, because I want to allow my pimple patches to sink in a little bit longer. So we're going to start with our eyes first. So let's go ahead and grab my brow gel. You know what's so crazy? That my brow gel is all dried out. Look at it. Like, it's crazy that when you're preparing to go on vacation, stuff just start running out, and it's like I did not have this in the budget. But anywho, we're gonna go find something else. I know I have my old one that I used to use from NYX, but I just don't know where that's at, and that is gonna throw me off a little bit. But we're just gonna have to skip that then. Let's go ahead and skip the brows. I don't know why I always hop on the camera, turn it on without even setting up my area. Like, it's like I just get so eager to turn on the camera and I'm not even like ready. I'm technically not even ready yet. Go ahead and I'm gonna brush my brows up. So we're gonna tackle the brows at the end because I have to find some brow gel and my brow pencil. So let's just go ahead and highlight under it and prime our lids, because like I said, I want my pimple patches to sit a little bit longer. So we're gonna do the lids, the eyeshadow first. So we're gonna work on our smoky eye first. So I'm just going in with my LA Pro concealer. This is my favorite, beautiful bronze. This is my favorite color for when I want to highlight under my brows. When I do not want to highlight under my brows, I will just go in with a concealer that is the same shade as my skin tone. That way my eyebrows look clean, but it's not giving a highlighted, fresh cut look. I'm trying out this mic. I had this mic when I used to vlog with my phone. So this is my first time plugging it into the camera to see if it works. So y'all, tell me if it works, because I don't know. Right now it's still on, so it's just still, I don't know if it's charged long enough, but we're just gonna wait and see. So yeah, now I am blending out my concealer, the same concealer that I use to line under my brows. I bring it down to my lids to use that as a primer. And then we're gonna go ahead and set the primer with some setting powder, because you should always set your concealer with a powder. Not just concealer, any liquid form, cream form, makeup that you put on, always set it with a powder, so the powder will make sure it don't move. So yeah, now that my concealer is all blended out, let's go ahead and set it. I'm going to grab for my L'Oreal Mercier, sorry. This is in the shade medium deep, so I'm just gonna do a little bit. I normally grab for my e.l.f. translucent powder, but that's in the bathroom right now and I don't feel like getting enough. So we're just gonna take a little bit. We're gonna damp this all over the concealer so it won't move. And then we are going to hop into the eyeshadow. All right, now that my concealer is all set, let's go ahead and grab our coffee shop palette, eyeshadow palette. Y'all, I told myself I wanted to make a video today, but I don't know why I feel not prepared. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap into this top color first just to go over my lid, and this is just gonna be my base shade. This is gonna be the shade that I use to blend everything out. So I should have put something on my lips. All right, now that we got our base tone in, I'm gonna go ahead and jump down to this bottom shade that I hit pan. And now I'm gonna go in with the same brush and basically go into the same area that I put. And for the second shade, I'm gonna tap it in. You see how the first shade, I was like blending it out. The second shade, I'm just like pushing it in. Because I really want it to show, but I don't want it to cover the last shade, if you guys know what I mean. Because a smoky eye really is just a whole bunch of different shades that lead into that dark shade, but you kind of still see every shade, if you guys get what I'm saying. Like, it's not just black around the eye looking like a raccoon. Like, it's actually multiple different shades of color, and it's just packed on top of each other where it gives a dark illusion. But you kind of can still see all the different colors that you packed into it. I'm going to do this a tutorial for by beginner, so I'm going to just keep using the same brush when it comes to my smoky eye look, because I don't think an average beginning person that's doing their makeup who just want to learn how to do a basic smoky basic look that they're going to do every day, they don't have many brushes, okay? And I'm not trying to advise anybody who's starting to build a makeup collection to just go buy a whole bunch of brushes, okay? Because that was me, and then I learned, like, I still keep turning to the same maybe 6 or 7 brushes, you know what I mean? And I have all these brushes that I thought I needed, and it turns out that I don't. But anywho, now I'm gonna go into my darkest shade, which is gonna be right here, and I'm gonna go ahead with the same brush, but I'm gonna just rub it on my leg just to get a little bit of the last shade off, and I'm gonna damp it in, and I'm gonna push this in as well, but I'm gonna start at the very end because that's where I want it to be the darkest, and I'm just gonna tap it in. So let's tap some more, and let's work at the end first. And I'm going in circular motions, but like you see, I'm only tapping it in. I am not brushing it like I did with the first shade. I'm tapping it in. All right, let's go ahead to the next eye. So let's pick up that darkest shade, go to the corner, and let's tap it in. Now that I do my makeup more often, I learned that even though I see all the makeup girlies brushing it and doing their techniques and stuff like that, I learned that tapping stuff in works better for me than the whole circular motion and like spreading it out and doing this and doing that and doing that. For me, tapping it works. It gives me the look that I be looking for, because when I do the whole brushing thing like all of the real makeup artists do, I feel like it doesn't work out for me. All right, so now I'm going to take the same brush and clean it off my leg. You can do this on a napkin, tissue, your leg, your shirt, your robe, whatever. So I cleaned my brush, and now I'm going to go back into that first shade at the top, the lighter shade, and I'm just going to take this and go at the very top and just blend it out. So I'm blending it out so it's not like a harsh line. So the lightest shade is what you're going to use to blend everything out. And I'm going to tap in, and I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm blending out around everything. And as you can see, this is when I'm actually brushing. All right, so I did my smoky eye look just with one brush. Now we're going to grab another brush because we're going to use some color. All right, so I'm not sure if we want to add a color or if we want to go neutral. Should we do neutral? We're doing a soft glam, so I feel like we should go neutral and not a pop of color. So let's go ahead and go back into that same palette then. I'm going to grab that palette back. So I'm going to grab my coffee palette back, and I'm going to go in with this white shade at the top. And I'm going to grab a smaller brush. A smaller, more dense brush. Like so. And I'm going to go ahead and tap into that that white. I almost said yellow. Oh, yellow would have been cute too. And I'm just going to tap it into the middle. Because, guys, if you didn't realize, everything that all the 3 different shades, I was going around. I was like making an upside down C. Therefore, I was leaving the middle empty so I can add that bright shade that I'm going to want to use. So for the middle shade, I'm also tapping it in. And for those of you who like to do your eyeshadow look after you beat your face, I would suggest you do some more tapping motions than the brushing, because the tapping will, I feel like when I tap, less fallout. I get less fallout. Sorry. Sometimes my brain works faster than my mouth, so when I start talking, things come out incorrect. But anywho, like so. So let's go ahead and do the next eye. So I'm tapping into the white, I'm dusting off, and then I'm going into the middle. And for those of you who got lashes on, don't be afraid to pull them bad boys down. Like you in the way, man. Move over. Don't toss away that brush that we used for all the dark shades, because we're going to have to go back in. But all right, now that we got our light color done, let's go ahead and grab that brush that we used to use the darker shade. And we're not going to go to the darkest one right here, but we're going to go to the middle shade that we use, which you see I use the most since I'm hitting pan. But I'm going to go to that middle shade, and I'm going to use it to like blend it out. Because like we said, we want it to float into each other without that line. We want it to look like it's just hopefully you guys can see, because I feel like my lashes are in the way and you guys can't really see. But we are taking that middle shade and we are rubbing it in the middle. Because before we did this, I should have showed you guys, but there was a line. There was a line between the black and the white. And we want to basically remove that. So with a light hand, light, you're not using it like a pencil, just a light hand, letting it go over. Okay, so yeah, I'm just doing finished touches. I'm just getting whatever else is on my brush, tapping it in. But if you're practicing your eyeshadow technique, I will tell you guys that it's a lot of blending. Where's that brush at? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that white. I'm not gonna dab it into the white anymore. I'm just gonna use whatever's left on the brush, and I'm just gonna dab it. And I think I'm gonna add some glitter. I don't know why I feel like every time I do a look, I just need to add some glitter. But we're gonna add some glitter, just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab me another brush. I could have used the brush that I used the white in, but no. I'm gonna grab me another brush and I'm gonna tap into a little bit of silverish, whitish type of glitter, and I'm gonna just pack it on top, like in the middle. All right, let's do the next side. And we are just tapping it. Let me add some more to this side. And that's going to be the end of our smoky eye. So now let's go ahead and get into our lining. The liner I'm going to use is my liquid liner from e.l.f. Cosmetics. And I'm just going to line up my eyes. I'm not good at this either. I'm still learning, practicing how to get the look that I want. My liner usually come out way better when I use my ink lock liner, but I don't have anymore, so I'm working. All right, and the last thing I usually do after is I just go back with the concealer that I used to prime my eyes, and I'll go back with it and I'll just line under my liner, basically cleaning it up. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and grab that concealer brush, and I'm gonna use whatever powder was left on this just to dab it in. All right, y'all, now that we are done with the eyes for now, let's go ahead and remove these pimple patches and let's start on the face. Alright, so the first thing you normally will do before you start the face, oh, I do have a little bit of fallout, the glitter. It's not that much. Okay, so the first thing you would do before you start your face is to moisturize, but I already moisturized. I did my whole skincare already about 2 hours ago. So I'm not going to add any moisture back onto my face because you can see my face is already still glowing. It's still giving yummy. So we're just going to hop right into the primer, and the primer we're going to use right today is Elf Cosmetics, the one with the niacinamide in it. So we got to go ahead and plump that right in. Okay, now while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and grab my No Pore Zone from Milani. You guys seen I did a review on this. I'm still trying it out basically. So I'm just going to take like a dime size on my finger. Ooh, excuse me. I've been trying to push that burp out for the longest. So yeah, I'm going to put this on top. So for a soft glam look, I really feel as though that a soft glam means minimum makeup. And for me to do minimum makeup, I feel like the best way to go about that is to do the underpainting method for my soft glam. Okay, so that really means that we're going to paint our face with all the different products and then blend it out all at the end. So first thing first, we're going to go in with our concealer. So I'm going to go ahead and use this new Soft Glam Satin Concealer from e.l.f. that I picked up a couple days ago. And I'm going to use this to lighten under my eyes. Oh, sorry, y'all. This is the shade 50. This is named Deep Warm, but the number is 50. So I'm going to use this to brighten under my eye. And we're going to lift it up right here. By the way, y'all, this concealer is $55, so you know I had to try it. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and with our concealer, our darker shade concealer, the Beauty Bar in medium deep. And I'm going to use this because this is darker. And I'm going to put this in the middle. All right. So now let's go ahead and bronze. We're going to go ahead and use our Made by Mitchell Curve Case. And I'm going to, this is in the deepest shade. And we're going to go ahead and, oops. I'm going to use the two in the middle. I'm just going to go back and forth and we're going to just stamp it in. Do it again. Just stamping it in. Put a little bit leftovers on my forehead. Let me just get a little bit more. All right, now we're gonna go ahead, since this is open, we'll go ahead and use the blush from this palette too. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the, oh, wrong brush. I'm gonna go ahead and use this soft pink right here as my blush for the day. And I like to bring my blush pretty high. And I do like to put a little bit on my nose. All right, now that we are done, let's go ahead and grab our contour stick from NYX. It's Fix Pro Stick. I use the shade Rich Espresso, and I use this to line my nose. I started using this one because it gives me that shadow look without it being so harsh. And that's in Rich Espresso. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab our concealer because we should have did this before. The concealer that we used in the middle, we're gonna go ahead and do our forehead, do the bridge of our nose, and right here. Okay, now the last step is our foundation. The foundation I'm going to use is my e.l.f. Halo Glow. And I'm just gonna line this up right under where I put the bronzer, like this. Just like that, on both sides, because this is all we need our foundation. Okay? And that's basically underpainting. And now we are going to spray our face. What I use to spray my face, I cannot pronounce this. I don't know. But this is what I use to spray my face. And we are going to go ahead and do that. Let's shake it up first. So yeah, we're gonna let that dry down a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and blend it out. All right, so the first thing we're gonna start blending out first is our foundation. So let's go ahead and blend that foundation out. You want to pay attention to with the lining of everything you put on your face. You don't want to like overstep, not just yet. You want to give everybody a fair chance to be blended out. So right now we're just doing our foundation. You could put some on your forehead. All right, now let's go to our bronzer, and let's grab that bronzer brush, and let's just dab it into space. Let me move this back a little. All right, now let's go into our blush. I'm not picking up any more product. I'm just blending out what's on my face with the same brush. I'm telling you guys, you have to get that spray, because the blend out after spraying everything with that is magical. Like, that's the best I can say. It's magical. It makes blending out so much easier. All right, now let's go ahead and blend out our concealer. I know I was kind of talking crap about that primer, the Milani primer, the no pores thingy. I was saying it wasn't doing much the first time when I did my review, but I'm actually starting to like it. Because like I said, I don't really need anything stronger because my skin is not that bad. I just feel like that area needs a little bit more blurring out. So I realized that when I put it on top of my e.l.f. grip, it actually works better. So when I had it on my bare skin, when I did that primer on my bare skin, it didn't give me the coverage type of blur out that I wanted. But when I started putting it on top of my e.l.f. grip primer, I actually like the outcome of that better than when it was by itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my nose brush. I have a separate brush for my nose that I got off of Amazon, and I think it's super cute. It's like angled and really dense, so I use this to blend out for my nose. Alright, where did I put that concealer brush? Alright, I'm gonna go back into that blush and add some more. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and use my foundation brush to like just blur out all the corners. Going over your face with that foundation brush is like the biggest hack anybody could tell you. Alright, so let's go ahead and set. Alright, let's go ahead and set. For those of you who are a beginner in makeup, I know that a lot of people want that bright under eye, but let me tell you something. That does not mean you have to put so much concealer under your eye. The quickest, sweetest, softest way to get that bright under eye without being cakey is to set under your eye and then go under your eye with a finishing powder, not more concealer, a finishing powder. And if you want your eye to be bright, just go in with a lighter shade of finishing powder and use that to brighten under your eye instead of adding more and more concealer. So let me go ahead and set with my, oh, there it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and set with my Carslin powder that TikTok made me buy. So this is gonna give me the powdery look finish. And this is a translucent powder, so I can use it all over my face, but right now I'm just using it on the highlighted areas because I want to go in with some more product for the rest of my face. So for my bronzer, I'm going to go in with a powder bronzer from Juvia's Place in the shade Dark, Deep Dark. And I'm going to go in with the bottom, and I'm just going to go on top of my, oops, wrong brush. I knew something felt funny. I'm going to go on top of where I put my bronzer, and I'm just going to use the bronzer powder to set it. Even if you didn't use a liquid bronzer, you can still go on with this. It will still show. All right, and as for my powder blush, I'm gonna go in with Juvia's Place Volume 1. And I'm gonna use this, it's like a brownish pink. So I'm gonna tap my blush brush, and I'm gonna go right on top of where I put my liquid blush earlier, and I'm just setting it. The best way for your makeup to last all day is to set it. Set it, set it, set it, set it, set it. Not just with a spray. Set it with a form of powder as well. And I'm gonna add some to my nose. Now let's go ahead and grab our finishing powder from MAC. I actually bought this huge sponge from Marshall's. Let's go ahead and try that. It says gorgeous on it. Yo, these are big. These are big. And ooh, it's thick. And I love this little pointy area. All right, let's go ahead and grab our finishing powder. The finishing powder I'm going to be using is from MAC, and it's in the shade Dark Deepest. And even though it says the Dark Deepest, this is still a light shade, so I put it under my eyes. So let's go ahead and tap this new sponge in. And let's press it in under our eye. You see how it lightened under my eye? But in the softest way. Period. 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 Okay? I'm telling you, that is the biggest hack, to lighten under your eye with a finishing powder, y'all. I'm telling you guys, you have to try it. Not keep putting more concealer on top of more concealer. Now, y'all, grab you a bright finishing powder and place that stuff right under your eye. All right, I didn't dip into any more blush. I'm just adding more, like just whatever left on my brush, because your blush be the first thing to go. All right, y'all. So now that we are finished with the base, let's go ahead and set the whole face. Okay. So let's go ahead and set the whole face. I'm going to use, for the first time, I'm going to use a crystalline powder on my whole face. Normally, I would have used my one size in the shade, where is it? Oh, normally I would use my one size in the shade Deep Dark to set the rest of my face, because that is my shade. And to set the rest of, I don't want my face to be all ashy, but I'm going to go ahead and try to use my translucent Karshlam powder from TikTok. And I'm going to use that to set my whole face. And let's see what that do. So let's go ahead and open her up. Let me grab my powder brush. My powder brush is right here. Got this. Did I get this off of Amazon too? Yes, I got this powder brush off of Amazon too. Amazon's that girl. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap our powder brush in. Ooh. And we're just gonna rub her, tap her everywhere. And this was me just setting my face. Soft glam coming together, y'all. All right, y'all. So now that we powdered our face down, you want to always set it with some sort of liquid. So when I bought this Karshlam powder, I also came with the setting spray. So I'm going to go ahead and use that too. And then we're going to line our eyes and use mascara. You want to always spray your face before you get to the lining of your eyes in the mascara. Unless, oh shoot, this is open. I'm spilling it. Oh my God. All right, let's go ahead and set. And we're going to let that dry down, and then we're going to go in with lining our eyes and adding some mascara to our look. Okay, now guys, that my face is all dried down, let's go ahead and line our eyes. I'm going to go in with a black eyeliner from Makeup Forever, and I'm just going to line the waterline of my eyes. Like so. I'm going to line up here too. All right, now I'm gonna grab my bronzer angle brush, and I'm just gonna go into my bronzer, and I'm just gonna add a little bit under my eyes just to continue with the little smoky look. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our mascara. First, let me fix my liner because my wing is gone. All right, let's go ahead and go in with some mascara. The mascara I'm going to use is from One Size. Okay, and it wouldn't be me if I don't go ahead and add some highlighter. So I'm gonna use this highlighter from e.l.f. in the shade Shimmer highlighting powder. I guess there's no shade, but I had this for years. I don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger, rub some on, and put it on the top of my cheekbone. And a little on my nose. And a little on the bridge. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab another highlighter. All right, so I'm just gonna take a pointy brush and I'm just gonna step it right in the corner.
Hi, Mommy.
All right.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi. All right, y'all. Off camera, I added some eyeliner to my little pimples. And then I just put some liner on my lips and some lip gloss. And this is the finished look. This is my soft glam smoky eye look. I feel like it turned out amazing. Like, look at it. I brushed it out a little. So yeah, this is the finished look.
Go, 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 go.